Hello, this is Music Man from his man cave. So last night, when my daughter got off from work, working at the mine, we went to see the new Terminator, GENISYS, or GENISYS, or GENISYS, Exodus and Leviticus. Exodus and Leviticus will be the name of the next two movies. Anyway, what was our attitude about the movie? Well, we both liked it. We both enjoyed it. Basically, if you've seen any trailers at all that have come out, and I haven't, I have to say that I've been caught by a couple. You know that Sarah Connor in this movie is now already the Sarah Connor that she was in Terminator 2, minus the language. And so she's already on top of the game, and she's been raised by she's been with or raised by an older Terminator. You know that from the trailers. I'm not really spoiling anything there. And so that sets up this movie. At the beginning, they kind of redo the old movie again, showing all that stuff that you saw in the 1984 movie. So there's no spoiler there, really. And they redo it themselves, and which to me was comical. I found it actually kind of funny, because why didn't they just use, I'm sure there's copyright or something, but why didn't they just use the original and then just have Arnold come up and at that moment, you know, at the right moment, and just have a moment of him defeating him? Why did they try to redo the entire thing? To me, that was kind of strange and obtuse. Maybe to show off digital effects? I don't have any idea. But it was kind of entertaining, to say the least. And he shot it just like James Cameron did. However, I have to say that they brought in a little bit of understanding into why he fell out of the sky, where the other Terminator was just kind of kneeled down there and such. It brought in a little bit of perspective and how these things happened and how the time machine worked and so forth. So I can see kind of where they were going there. I just understand why they didn't work it out to actually use more of the original footage. Just my opinion, because it came across to me as kind of hilarious. So, what did I think of Terminator GENISYS, or GENISYS? I liked it. Thought it was a good movie. I have no complaints really about this movie. I think they went the right direction. The first movie is just gut-wrenching horror and gore. The second movie is amazing with the brand new special effects and CGI, and it's James Cameron with a budget. The third movie was very good, and that movie had to be made, because I walked out of the Terminator 2 very confused, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And now they've made this one where Arnold steals the show as the funniest cyborg since R2-D2 or whatever, you know, the funniest robot since who knows when. He's hilarious in this movie. He's really funny. It's a movie about basically the movie's mostly about a relationship that was built between Sarah Connor and a Terminator, and that relationship is kind of the centerpiece of this movie. And also Arnold steals the show. This is one of Arnold's best movies, especially since he was governor. I really enjoyed Arnold's take on the Terminator. He didn't just phone it in. He really brings it here. He's got quick, witty dialogue. You can tell that he's very comfortable in this role, and it's great. The young lady from Game of Thrones, I don't know her name. have never watched Game of Thrones or whatever she stars in. You can tell me down below. She does a very good job as Sarah Connor. I liked her. The only miscast I felt was Jay Courtney playing Kyle Reese. He didn't look anything like Kyle Reese from the 1984 Terminator, facially or anything. They couldn't find someone that was a better Kyle Reese than that. It's almost like they just put him in there. And he just does an adequate job, but, you know, he doesn't do a great job. There's J.K. Simmons as a police detective from 1984 who saw some things, and I like that because, yeah, that would be true. If you saw that stuff happening, somebody's going to question something. Something's going on, you know. And so, anyway, no spoiler here, the timeline has been altered. Now, this is where people are really, the critics are just butchering this movie. It's not that bad. It is not. They think this movie is worse than the Green Lantern movie? Give me a break. They at least gave that 50%. They're giving this 25%. This shows critics don't know anything. They don't really know anything. Let me tell you who really enjoyed this movie. My daughter. It's first was PG-13. She did not like the blood, guts, and gore of the first movies. She didn't like Terminator 1 and 2 hardly at all. And my daughter really liked this one because she liked the Sarah Connor character. And I also liked that there was not so much profanity and just and so heavy on the blood and gore. And I really liked that. It was more a PG-13 movie. It's more geared toward, you could tell from its tone, it's geared more toward teenagers. I'd say this is geared between 12 to 16 demographic. This is not really an adult movie. This is a blockbuster popcorn flick, sci-fi. I'd say a sci-fi comedy. You don't even have to see the first movies, I believe, to enjoy this. Now, people are giving a big fuss about the timeline and the mess up with the timeline. Well, since the first movie, there's been problems for me with the timeline. Let me give you an illustration. At the end of Terminator 2, I'm the only one that caught this. Most people just kind of gloss it over. They destroy the chip, they destroy that hand, and then they lower, spoiler, they lower the Terminator into the steel. Well, if that happened, there would be a paradox and a ripple effect, and I don't know if Sarah Connor really thought this out. If she kills the machines, she kills John Connor. Because the machines are the ones that create the time displacement device, which they first send back the Terminator, and John Connor sends back Kyle Reese. And this is spoilers. I'm just going into a few spoilers here. Sends back Kyle Reese that has to be sent back, or John Connor will not exist. So when they lowered him into the steel, Jumanji kind of thing should have happened, and time should have been reset. There should have been a paradox. So I said to my wife, when we went to this movie in 1991, it can't be over, because John Connor still exists. See, John Connor and the machines are tied together. So if Cyberdyne or Skynet, or now GENISYS, whatever, if they're stopped, if they do not succeed in blowing up the world, then John Connor can never exist. So Sarah Connor is going to have to choose whether to let this bad thing happen or just let her son die. Now we don't even know if John Connor is ever going to exist at all. So the whole thing now is left up in the air, and that's just fine with me, because the timeline thing never really worked for me anyway since the second movie, because it makes no sense. The only movies that make sense in is Terminator 1 and Terminator 3, where Judgment Day is inevitable. It has to be inevitable, or John Connor would never exist. So no one's ever thought of that, have you? If they stop the machines and they destroy Cyberdyne, Skynet, Genesis, whatever John Connor will never be. Because Kyle Reese will never fight through the war and be sent back in time by John Connor. It will eschew. It's kind of like the movie The Time Machine, where he discovers at the end the reason that he can't go back in time and save his love is because he would never build the time machine. And so they completely just skip over this paradox problem. Back to the Future is more accurate with the paradox, and James Cameron is the one that blew this. So I like the movie. I give it a very good rating. I thought it was fun. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was Arnold Schwarzenegger brought it. He is truly a megastar, and I would recommend it. Just to go, I think it's, I like its rating, PG-13. And so if you want to see a movie that's just a fun popcorn flick, that's just what you're going to get. If you want a gritty, bloody, gory, cutting-edge movie, you're not going to get it here. Anyway, Music Man, take care. Talk to you later. Bye.